Welcome into the show tonight. I am Bryan Keating alongside Parker Thune. Welcome to the show tonight. Of course, you know him from KREF and OU Insider. Does an awesome job covering the University of Oklahoma. Welcome to the show. It's your first time. Are you excited to be here?
Very excited.
All right,
I don't really know what to expect, but I have no doubt you'll guide us through.
All right, we'll get through this. This is how we started. It said, it is time for Crashing the Boards as we get ready for Oklahoma and Alabama. Put it up. We got the OU game right here on Channel 5 on Saturday in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. What a big-time opportunity for the OU Sooners. 7-2 against 8-1. Can OU get down there and follow up that big Tennessee win? So, Parker, I'll give you the first shot at this. As Oklahoma goes to Alabama on Saturday, what do they need to do to figure out a way to beat the Crimson Tide?
Is this where I reveal the
this
board
is
right
where
here?
you go.
Okay,
this is where you go.
Pressure the QB. To me, Brian,
okay, yeah.
That's where it starts and ends, because Ty Simpson is right up there in the Heisman conversation. He's proven, if nothing else, throughout the season that he's a guy that, if given time to sit back there in the pocket, allowed time for things to develop downfield, he's going to dice you up.
Yeah.
Right? And Oklahoma's secondary has demonstrated some vulnerability, especially in the vertical game. So, how do you mitigate weakness in the secondary? Well, you've got to get after the quarterback, right? You've got to force the signal caller to speed up his decision-making process and minimize the amount of time that his receivers have to create separation downfield. It's going to be really interesting to see whether our Mason Thomas is available for this game, coming off that quad injury against Tennessee, because if he can go, Alabama's left tackle, Caden Proctor, has shown that he's most beatable when matched up against speed rushers, and our Mason Thomas is obviously one of the country's premier speed rushers. So even if Thomas doesn't play, Danny Okoye and Taylor Wine have also shown that they can get home on the rush as well. But if you have our Mason Thomas active, that's a boon for Oklahoma's chances to pull the upset.
Look, he's one of the best defensive linemen in college football. There's no question about that. So I'm not worried about the OU defense. They got the best. I've been saying they got the best defense in college football for weeks and weeks and weeks. And they're certainly one of the best. And they got the best defensive line in all of college football. So I know what to expect from them. Alabama's really, really good. I have no idea what to expect from the OU offense. I mean, I have no idea what to expect from the OU offense. And at this point, you know, John Mateer, the numbers, he's a much better runner than he is a thrower. You know, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions at this point in the year. And he's not going to light you up, and they still got work to do in that passing game, right? But it is imperative to run the football. If they can't run the football, they can't go there and win. They get no chance to go there and win. It's imperative to run the football. Xavier Robinson, the last 2 games, 25 carries, 224 yards, 3 touchdowns the last couple of games. He's changed the opportunity for that offense. When they can turn it around and hand it off, it does open up things in the passing game. But they still have work to do offensively. The defense, I know what to expect from them. If they play anything like they did a couple of weeks ago in Knoxville, Tennessee, they're going to be right there. I'm just not sure what to expect from the Oklahoma offense. Is John Mateer, he keeps saying he's healthy, but he doesn't look like the same guy that played at the beginning of the year. Can he go up there and play well enough for them to win?
He started to look like the same guy down the stretch against Tennessee, right? Because physically, and you could tell in the way he was running the ball especially, he didn't look like he was fully himself. Even as recently as the first half of that Tennessee game, the third quarter rolls around, he starts to look like the old version of himself again, and that's an encouraging sign for Oklahoma as they head into a pivotal finishing kick here.
All right, put up the graphic. We got 3 games to go for the University of Oklahoma. It's funny, Parker, because the beginning of the year you go, oh my God, what are they going to do? They got Alabama, and then they got Missouri and LSU. All these teams are going to be ranked in the top 15, and it hadn't really worked out that way. Alabama's 4th in the country. We know all about them. But then you got 2 home games remaining. So I'll put it to you this way. What are your expectations here for the final 3 games of the season? Because it just seems like the opportunity is there in a different way than we even thought maybe a month ago that Oklahoma is really in position to go to the college football playoff.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what my expectations are. I'll tell you what the recipe has to be for Oklahoma, and that is 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Got to win 2 out of 3, regardless of what that looks like, Brian.
Any two.
Any two, because I actually think they have a really good chance to go down to Tuscaloosa this weekend and pull the upset.
Okay.
But part of the nature and the beast of the SEC is that you're going to get punked from time to time. right? And so nobody should be writing off Missouri or writing off LSU just because those programs have struggled in recent weeks. To go 3-0 the rest of the way feels like a little bit too rosy of a prognostication for me. You're dealing with the SEC here. It's a vicious league. But those Missouri and LSU games shouldn't be penciled prematurely into the win column. Upset potential abounds with those two opponents.
Sure.
But if you can win 2 out of 3, regardless of which 2 it is, I think this sets up for a really interesting discussion on Selection Sunday amongst the CFP committee, because ESPN currently projects that Oklahoma has about a 45% chance to make the college football playoff field at 9-3 again, regardless of which 2 out of 3 they win. What helps their case here? Well, the ACC is looking like a one-bid league. The Big 12 is also trending in the direction of being a one-bid league as well. So that means up to 7 at-large bids that could go to SEC or Big 10 programs. Now, what hurts their case? Well, when you look at the SEC, yes, this league has 4 top 10 teams that look like shoo-ins. A&M, Ole Miss, Alabama, Georgia. But Texas, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, all very much alive in the CFP race as well. So does 9-3 get you in on Selection Sunday? I don't know, but you've given yourself a chance. You've given yourself a seat at the table. You've put yourself in the conversation.
I think you win and you're in. I think if you go down there and beat Alabama, I think you're going to get in, because I agree with you. If you beat Alabama, I think if you win 2 of those 3 and you get in. If you don't beat Alabama, I think the case becomes more difficult to make for Oklahoma. I just think that of the schools that they've beaten in the SEC, it won't be any of the teams that you're talking about that are in line to get to the college football playoff. So I just think if you win and you can go down there and win, then I think you absolutely get one of those 2 at home. And look, if they go down there and win, I have absolute confidence that they can win both of those games at home. I just think, look, going down to Tuscaloosa, I don't care who you are or how you're playing, it's going to be really difficult. I don't know about the OU offense, but the way that they've managed this schedule to put themselves in a position where not a lot of people, at least maybe I'll speak for myself, I wasn't sure that they would be in this position at the beginning of the season, talking about how do we get to 8 and 9 and maybe 10 wins. I wasn't sure they could do that. So I'm impressed. I'm just awfully impressed the way they played in Knoxville, Tennessee. That was a blood and guts, just gutting it out kind of game. It impressed me very much. But look, if they go down there and beat Alabama, I think they're getting in the college football playoff, because I think it'll prove that they are the team that they appear to be at times.
And that's a marquee win, right? That's a marquee win on your resume. That, along with Tennessee, along with Michigan, that's just what the doctor ordered.
The Tennessee win and the Michigan games would be big for sure. You beat Alabama, changes everybody's opinion. You show up, it changes everyone's opinion, and I'd love their chances. You're going to stick around for OSU, right?
Why the heck not?
All right, let's do it. Stay with us. We're talking Cowboys and Kansas State, and I guess the big question for OSU fans, can they figure out a way to win a football game this weekend?